Leader.
Hi, how are you? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Happy to be here.
Thank you.
But this is like this. Battle.
How are you?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Get your sign in.
I'm not coming to you.
Street.
Thank you.
Get your sign in.
You know, Mr. Lazo, have you heard his name? you know this man. I know he's a...
Beyond reasonable doubt. With how much I do, with all due respect, I invite to the podium our mighty minority leader, Nana Osanini Afenyo Markin. With a hand of praise. Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you. Chairman of this auspicious occasion, respected professors of this university, we are often compelled to compete for leadership and for success. And through this competition, we fail to acknowledge the talents in one another. I share with you a short story. I got into parliament in my early 30s. Very ambitious, but perhaps very empty. Loyal businessman, but the politics of the National Assembly, I didn't know where to begin from. To speak on the floor was a difficulty for me. Then came a day where we were supposed to debate on the national budget, the budget of 2030. That very day, I was in the constituency. I didn't know the chief whip had scheduled me to speak. Then I got a call from the chief whip, that I needed to be in the parliament. So I got to parliament, and here was I didn't know where to start from, because if there's a debate, it is not just the usual rhetoric. You are supposed to rely on some facts. That evening was the beginning of Afenyo Markin. And I'm humbled that today, when he heard of this program, he said to me, Kwamina, I'll go with you. Please give it up for Dr. Markin. He is a PhD monetary economist. And every time you choose accountability and service over corruption, unity over division, and compassion over cynicism, you are exercising leadership that strengthens Ghana's foundation. In our politics, but you can change that. You can insist that leadership should be defined by principles and results. Our nation needs a generation of leaders who measure their impact by what they do. I assure you, no amount of laws or policies can uplift Ghana unless we first have leaders that have character at every level of society. And that starts with each one of you in your lecture halls. When the time came for me to run for parliament, two things worked for me. At the party level, my stepfather's relationship with people. So wherever I went to, they mentioned my stepfather's name. And he said, if this man has brought you up, then we believe that when you get there, you'll remember X. Because your stepdad is very selfless. The second thing was that the youth remembered me for an NGO I set up to support them way before I got into partisan politics. People don't forget the good things we do. So remember to be of service in your community, in your little way. All this effort, know that you are not alone. There are many patriotic leaders and elders who will support you, like I got the support from my colleague Dr. Civic. Indeed, our very own political tradition, the tradition of the NPP, where I find myself, is rooted in empowering individuals and communities to prosper through their own efforts and freedoms. The party believes in freedom, liberty, and the rule of law. We believe in unleashing the genius of the Ghanaian, not suppressing it. So push boundaries, hold us accountable, and build bonds with one another. That is how you claim ownership of Ghana's story. It's not your individual efforts. The time to build bonds and navigate your way for your future is now. You alone cannot make it. Don't let anyone deceive you. My dear students, I shall now address the political dimension openly of my submission. Every political party speaks of empowering youth, but action speaks louder than words. I want to remind you that the policies we implement today will decide whether your generation succeeds or struggles. It is therefore important to consider the track record and vision of your political leaders. For the purposes of today's submission, I shall rely on the last 8 years, where Nana Akufo-Addo led the MPP government into undertaking certain bold initiatives centered on youth development in spite of the challenges it faced. Allow me to cite few examples. Educational transformation, free SHS. When free SHS was introduced in 2017, many doubted its feasibility. But today, the policy has enabled over 3.1 million Ghanaian students to attend secondary education with free tuition, who otherwise might have stopped at the junior high level. And there are several examples. Free SHS has become a game changer, one of the most unifying social interventions in our recent history, giving children from poor and rich homes alike a shot at education. This investment, though costly, is an investment in you, the next generation of Ghanaian leaders and professionals. We did it because we in the MPP believe no Ghanaian should be denied education due to financial hardship. Contrast this with earlier periods when tens of thousands of qualified students were left out yearly because of school fees. The difference is night and day. Education is a great equalizer, and we chose to act. Jobs and industrialization. Under the 1D1F, the Akufo-Addo government recognized that to solve youth unemployment, we needed jobs closer to where people live and create opportunity for the private sector. There are many youths who carry their CVs to their political leaders in search for jobs in the public sector. The public sector alone cannot take all of you. There was therefore the need to create a space at the private sector level. And the only way was to introduce incentives, which was captioned as 1D1F. Indeed, this allowed for factories to be established across our country, that by mid-2024, 321 factories had been supported in 142 districts, creating about 170,000 jobs for Ghanaians, many of them young people. These were real jobs that were created in manufacturing, in agro, and in agro business. Yet today, that hope is no more. Unfortunately, today's government has cancelled the 1D1F program, and it is replacing with an untested 24-hour economy. I am, however, optimistic that with time, the government will be able to realize its vision under this 24-hour economy to create jobs for the people. We await them. However, I believe that the overseen mass dismissals in the public sector has also created a problem for our country. Like I said, we do not need to come into office to create problems merely because the government we inherited has done something. Thousands of young people were employed, have been sent home because of partisan considerations. We don't need this as a people. For public sector peace, I must embrace it because if it works, it will work for the youth of Ghana. The fact that I am in opposition does not mean I should propose it. I have seen the policy document. I pray the government will be able to roll it out for the benefit of the private sector so that more jobs will be created. The Akufo-Addo administration launched initiatives like the Youth Start, providing startup capital and training to youth-led businesses, aiming to create 1 million jobs. The government invested in digital infrastructure, from extending broadband to rolling out mobile money interoperability, because the government envisioned a Ghana where young app developer in Tamale can reach the world, or a student in Ho can take an online course in data science. These efforts lay the groundwork for a modern economy where your ideas can flourish. I encourage the current government to fuse this into the 24-hour economy and build on these foundations rather than dismantle them. The record have it that government rolled out one of the most ambitious road development programs in our history, rightly called the Year of Roads. It's on record that the Akufo-Addo government constructed no less than 13,000 kilometers of highways, interchanges, and feeder roads, and all these were constructed and rehabilitated across the country as of December 2024. These roads opened market for farmers, made it easier for young entrepreneurs to move goods, and reduce the travel time for students and workers alike. For the youth, road meant access to opportunity. I am therefore happy that this government has introduced this big push idea where major roads are going to be tackled. If this is done, it will further open our economy and make Ghana a better place. Again, it is my hope that government is able to roll this out for the good of our country. Then another is the landing beach and the fish port project for our fisher folks. Of course, my own constituency, Winneba, benefited from it. The Winneba city, as you know, is a coastal city. And for many years, our fisher folks were crying for landing beach. Under Akufo-Addo administration, we benefited. And that to support coastal and fishing communities. The Akufo-Addo government undertook 12 landing beach projects and 2 fishing ports to modernize fishing infrastructure in Azim, Disco, Mori, Mumford, Winneba, Elmina, Senyabriku, Gomwafete, Teshi, Keta, Osu, Ekumfi, Infantima, and Jamestown. These interventions gave young fisher folks better access to storage, processing, and marketing facilities. By improving the fishing value chain, thousands of young men and women along our coasts were able to earn a better livelihood, transforming fishing from mere subsistence into a viable business. And it is my hope that all those projects, the few that are left to be completed, get completed by this government. Program. Agriculture became the backbone under the Akufo-Addo administration, since it was a key for our economy to invest in agriculture. Under PLJ 1 and 2, the Akufo-Addo government made it possible for thousands of young people to access subsidized fertilizers, improved seeds, and extension services. This policy created opportunities for young farmers to see agriculture and agribusiness as profitable ventures. PLG empowered a generation of youth to take pride in feeding their nation while creating jobs in the process. And finally, and not the least, energy and electrification. No economy can grow without a reliable energy. That is why the Akufo-Addo government invests rural electrification project brought light to communities that had been in darkness for decades, enabling young people in those areas to stay their night, power their businesses, and connect the wider economy. Energy reforms also provided a more reliable environment for industry, technology, and small businesses, creating a platform for youth innovation to flourish. With stable power, young people in Accra, Tamale, Kumasi, and beyond could dream bigger and do more. But again, in spite of all these successes, I would want to submit that we as a people must rise up to our responsibility. It is a fact that many social intervention programs that were introduced by successive government to create economic empowerment got abused. Many of the beneficiaries abused them. Without looking above me for examples, I would want to use my own example in the future. I know that under the Kufuor administration, outbound motors were distributed to fisher folks to pay through cooperative. As far as I know, in my own constituency then, many people did not pay. Yet, it was a cost to the state. I know that under Poverty Alleviation Fund, when Rawlings introduced this Poverty Alleviation Fund, where small-scale businesses were accessing loans, many people benefited and did not pay. Our Honorable Gladys Asma, the then Minister for Gender and Women Affairs, she introduced a policy to support women. Many people benefited, they did not pay. Maslow was introduced by Kufuor. It was continued by Professor Mills, continued by President Mahama in his first administration. MPP came and continued the Maslow. Governments invested heavily in Maslow. The aim was to empower our people economically. But perhaps because many people feel that it is my party, I voted for this government, the person will take the Agogoya, take the taxi, take the loan, and the next thing is that I won't pay. So we keep sinking the nation. I believe that the time has come. Much as we demand accountability from our leaders, we, the citizens, must also be accountable. And therefore, this day, I call on you, the youth, that any opportunity that will come your way, make good use of it. And remember that there is somebody waiting out there for such opportunity, that if you abuse yours, you deny that person the opportunity. Politics aside, ladies and gentlemen, empowering the next generation should be by a bipartisan cause. Ultimately, whatever your political leanings, you must remember that good policies matter. Stay informed and engaged, because your future is shaped by the decisions that you yourself make today. Now to conclude, I charge you with a very simple but urgent message. Dream big, stand tall, and act now. Ghana is too rich in talent and resources for us to entertain mediocrity. I repeat, our country Ghana is too rich in talent and resources for us as a people to entertain mediocrity. Each one of you in this room must refuse to grow when you have the capacity to do something great for yourself and our country. As we dream together, let us also confront the dangers that threaten our future. None is more urgent than the menace of illegal mining, otherwise known as galamsey. This destructive practice is stealing your future. It is robbing farmers of fertile soil, poisoning the water of our children, and destroying the environment you and I must inherit. If we allow galamsey to continue unchecked, then we are complicit in selling tomorrow for today's greed. I therefore challenge you, the youth, to be at the forefront of this fight, to speak up, protect our rivers, and to insist on sustainable ways of harnessing Ghana's natural resources. Enough of the... My earliest memory of this galamsey is when Honorable Sektekwe appeared before the Finance Committee in 2015. At the time, the Cocoa Board was under the Ministry of Finance, and he came to address us, the Finance Committee, on why cocoa production was going down. And he shared with us the unfortunate story of galamsey. When President Akufo-Addo came into office, he even publicly declared that he was putting his presidency on the line. When our friends were in opposition, they were very loud on their desire to fight galamsey. I think enough of the rhetorics. The situation is real. In my own constituency, we cannot get safe water to drink because of galamsey. And I know many people who are going through difficult times because of this. Let us fight this together, else there will be no Ghana for us. With these inspiring words of Nelson Mandela, sometimes it falls upon a generation to be great. You can be that great generation. Let your greatness blossom. Indeed, it falls upon your generation to be great. We do not choose the times we are born into, but we do choose how to respond. And this is your time to respond with greatness. Ghana stands at the threshold of a new era. With a youthful population, abundant natural resources, and a vibrant democracy, we have everything it takes to build the country we dream of. What is required now is a will to make it happen. Let us resolve that we will rise to the occasion. Let us lift the touch high and carry it forward together. In doing so, we honor those who came before us and fulfill our duty to those who will come after us. Thank you very much.
So we are in my
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable, for those inspiring words. I would